Hi, my name is Vern with TaxCore, and I'm glad to be able to work with you in getting some of your clients out of some tax problems. I've been working with asset-based lending and factoring companies since 2014. I represent quite a few of them in the U.S. with clients all across the country. And one of the biggest things that I do for your clients to get them into full compliance with the IRS is to either get the IRS off their back with enough time for you to go ahead and be able to loan to them securely, putting them on installment agreements, getting them a subordination agreement form 14134 filed and approved and in your hands quickly. That's a very important thing. Sometimes those things can take 3 or 4 months. I'm able to get those done a lot faster than that, usually in around 30, 35 days. In my past career, I worked with Internal Revenue Service for about 10 years as a revenue officer, and I probably processed while I was there maybe 100 or so subordination agreements. So I do understand how they work, where they need to go, who to contact when it's been more than 20, 13, 14, 21 days to get those things filed. So one of the things that I can do for you is when you've got clients who've got some iffy tax issues, you do know that once the IRS files a federal tax lien, that puts the public on notice that they have the rights to the assets of the taxpayer after 45 days. It's called the 44-day rule. After the 45th day, that lender, the client, the taxpayer, can no longer pledge their receivables as collateral on a loan unless there's a presence of a subordination agreement in place and signed by the Internal Revenue Service. So that's something that I can do and get those in, for you quickly. I can track those from beginning all the way to the end, and I can get installment agreements for businesses because of my past knowledge, or my knowledge, not past knowledge, because of my past experience and knowledge. I understand how to massage 433Bs, the financial statement for businesses, and to fight to keep all of the expenses, to fight to keep all the guaranteed payments, and to make the IRS understand it's in their best interest to give the taxpayer a lower installment agreement so that they can make their minimum monthly payments to them and stay in full compliance so that their subordination agreement will not default. I also track the subordination agreements. They're only valid for 12 months. So usually around 9 months, I'll go ahead and I'll prepare the next form to go ahead and send off, get a new contract in place for the taxpayer, and we'll get that in place so that there's no lapse in subordination. Another thing that I'm able to do with my corporation, I have access to the IRS database as an enrolled agent. I have access to the database, and what I can do is I can go into every one of your borrowers' tax account, and I can pull their transcript. I can pull it 3 times a day if I want to. I don't do that. I probably pull it once every 14 days, maybe once every 30 days, and I can let you know if your borrower is making their federal tax deposits on time, if they're filing their 941s, 940s on time, if their corporate returns, 1120s, 1060s, 1120Ss are being filed on time, so that there are no surprises that would void their installment agreement, that would void their subordination agreement. So there's no tax problem that I've not experienced, that I've not worked in my career at the IRS. I've collected up to $25 million from taxpayers in private practice. And I probably already sent you my corporate profile. I've got some case studies in there. I'm regularly taking $1 and $2 and $3 million tax liabilities, and through the offer and compromise program, reducing that down to $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. There's nothing that is out there that I've not experienced, whether the trust fund investigations, a suit to reduce a federal tax lien to a judgment, taking a taxpayer to tax court, injunctions, all the complicated things that are out there. I can do those. I did them every day when I was working for the IRS, and I can also do the simple things. Putting a person on a payment plan, getting some penalties and interest abated, even if the IRS seized some assets of the taxpayer and that check was supposed to come to you. If the IRS didn't do everything properly, I can get that money back. Can't guarantee it in every situation. But if the government was defective in their process to levy a fund that was used as collateral for your loan, and I can find it, which I will, we can get those funds that levy reversed and sent back to you so that you can clear that debt off of your book so you don't have to take a loss on it. So as you're running across clients who you have a need to have tax resolution services done, give me a call. My office number is 256-429-9229. You can also reach me on my website at www.taxcorpllc.com. In the menu bar at the top, there is a Schedule a Time with Me button. Click on it. You can see my schedule for the next 2 weeks of available times for a consultation. Just click on it, put in your name and your telephone number and the corporation, and I'll call you at your scheduled time and we can do a free consult. You can bring a third party on the phone with you, your client. We can have a discussion about everything. I'll send you out. At that time, I'll give you a diagnosis of what's going on, how we can resolve it, and a fair, firm upfront price. I can guarantee you I charge less than some of these national companies. And what makes me different from a lot of other people is I will see this through all the way to the end. I've got clients that did some asset-based lending 2 years ago that they've continued to have problems. And as long as it's on that contract for those tax returns and those periods that we covered in the beginning, I will work it all the way through. There's no more, oh, I need an extra $2,000 or $5,000. Oh, we need a new contract. The only thing I may have to update is a power of attorney to get additional time on that document so that the IRS will continue to give me information. So please feel free to reach out to me for a free consultation if you have clients who may need my services or you just have questions in general. I'll be glad to help you. Have a great day.